Alright, we're looking at 1970s G.I. Joe Adventure Team Seawolf Submarine. Now, this is an item that I didn't have as a child, but I had Big Jim. One of my two younger brothers got this for Christmas one year. This was a great toy. I really enjoyed it, and it wasn't even mine. This isn't the one from our childhood. This is the one I put back together. What this G.I. Joe Submarine did was you put it in a pool, put it in the bathtub, and it would float. But on top of the dome, and I'll show you that in a bit, there's a little switch thing that you would connect this pump to. And what you would do is that on this pump, this plug here, there's two holes on top. One plug, once plugged, it would pump the air out or pull the air out of the dome and cause the sub to submerge. Then you flip the plug into the other hole and pump it, and it would force air back into the dome and resubmerge. And man, that was so cool. I haven't seen it but one, I take that back, two videos, and there may be more out there, but I'm not going to spend all day looking for videos of this item. But I saw two videos, one on YouTube and one on a site I came across on Google, and they weren't this version of the Seawolf. It was the Action Man Seawolf. That was identical in every way except the color. It was gray. And on those two videos, one of them was a father showing his son or his sons the Seawolf Submarine, the Action Man version, and he showed them in the pool, and the wife was filming it, and the kids just actually turned around and walked away while the father was in the pool just enjoying his toys from the 70s. And the other video on YouTube is actually an Action Man commercial, and you'll see a brief shot of the Seawolf. I can assume that the Seawolf was not as popular today as it was as all the other G.I. Joe stuff, because it was pretty limited. I mean, you had to have water, or it could sit in the floor and you could pretend, but it was kind of a limited toy in my opinion. But it came with a squid that had suction cups to stick to the dome, and there's the squid. It came with a comic, that's a reproduction comic. It came with the pump. The item in the back is a floating mirror, so when the sub was sunk, that would actually float in a little mirror. It's not a real mirror, it's just shiny decal. It would actually, you could actually look through the top of it and see the sub underwater, which was another cool feature. The sub did not come with Joe. He came separately, of course, but it has a mask and oxygen line. In the front has a claw, a camera, and a light on top. Now, as I said, I had to put this set together. My intention was to put it all back together and give it to my brother, because it was one of his toys. But as usual, I put it together and it goes on my shelf. I did call and tell him to come here and I had something to show him, and he saw it and wants it, but I told him nah, he had to get his own. Alright, here's a little better shot of the squid, and you see it's got the two long tentacles with little suctions on them. He's just a gray plastic squid, nothing special, but him and Joe fought underwater. Joe with his dagger and the squid with his tentacles. Alright, that's a close-up view of the reproduced comic that came with the Action Team sets. I think all Action Team sets came with them. Again, I never had G.I. Joe. My brother had them, and my cousin had them. And I remember the comics. They just, brief little tale about the sub adventure and all. And you see the squid, the sub chasing the squid down. Alright, now you see the pump. It's got the Action Team, the Adventure Team logo. It's got a compass, and it's got a gauge on it. And basically, that's all you did was pump it, and you pull this plug out, And there was 2 holes, and you just stuck it in either side to submerge it or resubmerge the sub. Alright, and there's the mirror. I don't exactly know what this is called, but you see it's got 2 pontoons to float, and you see I'm just gonna move with my thumb. It's got a little handle on the side over here, but I'm right-handed and holding the camera. And you know, the little plastic decal there is, you know, you can see the camera in the reflection, but it's showing some age. Okay, this is the back side of the floating mirror. You can't see, but there's another reflective decal there. So basically, you just use this to look for your submarine or the squid. Now for the sub. I bought a box lot of toys. Actually, I bought a couple of them, and I hit the jackpot with some. I had a video of a Remco wrestling ring, and I think I had 14 or 19 wrestlers that was in the box that I bought just to get the Joe that's sitting in this submarine. I paid $25 for the whole box, and I mean, it was full of die-cast cars and all pretty much good stuff. But this sub body only, with the rudders are still on it, and they came with it, as did whatever this piece is supposed to simulate, maybe the engine, jet propulsion. Everything else was missing. Oh, I'll take that back. This little piece here, not following my hand with the camera, I'm following my hand with my eyes. This little piece that's always missing was actually in the box. So I got the body, and I said, well, I just settled on eBay because I got nothing to do with it, but I remember playing with this. So I said, well, let me see if I can buy parts and put it back together. And at that time, there wasn't that much available for the Seawolf submarine, so it took several months to get it put back together. I scoured trade shows and trying to find parts, and you'd find them in the box, the whole sub in the box. I found one sealed, and the guy was asking $400 for it, which, you know, I didn't need that one. Wasn't gonna pay $400. Today on eBay, and this is actually January 2014, there was a couple on the eBay with the box, but I didn't read all the decals, but they were both already had bids of over $100, and I'm not watching them or anything, so I don't really care if they sell or not. But here's the one side of the sub. And you know, I forgot about this. This piece was in the box too. The camera with a light, I had it in the box. The section here, I had to end up getting off of eBay, and I thought it opened. Yeah, it does. I just don't know how to do it. I'm not going to force it. But that's the front shot of the sub. You see Jim in there. Alright, here's the other side of the sub, and you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, but the decal, the depth decal is loose on the bottom. I did see the replacement decals on eBay, but as I said in other videos, I like the original look, so I'm not swapping the decals off. This body did have, like, I forgot what it was, decal. Somebody stuck a decal on it that said awesome, and it was in different colors. I did take that one off. Oh yeah, and you can see the glue has turned, it's turning colors there. And here's the back side of the sub. On the bottom, it's got the Adventure Team logo. I'm not at all in tune with boats and ships, but you got, I think these might be planes or elevators, I'm not sure. Correct me if you want to. I don't know. And I think that's considered a rudder. And I'm assuming that's the exhaust or the, I guess where the water shoots out or whatever, for however this thing was propelled with your imaginary mind. Alright, and here's the top. And I told you that this little section here, well, it actually pulls off. It's kind of wore out. But this is where you hook the air line to the pump. And that's the original air line. And you would either put forced air out or pump air in to get the sub to submerge and resubmerge. there's a shot of the interior, and you can see also his mask and the hose. It connects in there, but I just have never connected it. I just stick it in there. The elastic band is kind of stretched. I forgot where I got that from, but I got it fairly cheap with some other G.I. Joe stuff that I gave to my brother. He builds G.I. Joes by hand. He's one of those guys that just loves to create his own 12-inch action figures. Now, like I said, all I had in the box when I bought all I had of the sub when I bought that lot of toys was just the main body, the top of the periscope, and the camera. And it did come with the planes or elevators and the rudder. So I had to buy everything else, and it took several months. It did, and you know, I had to buy the interior piece. This section here, if you see in the dome, there's a section lifting up. I had to get that piece, and I had to get the claw, and I had to get the dome, and I had to get the mask with the hose. I had to obtain the pump, the squid, the floating mirror, and I went ahead and bought the reproduction comic book. Now, to be honest with you, I spent a lot of money putting this thing together, but it was worth it to me because it was a childhood toy that I really enjoyed, that my brother owned, and it was worth every penny I spent to put it back together, not to give it to him as planned. Okay, and there's the Fuzzy Head Joe. I remember my brother having a Fuzzy Head Joe with orange trunks. I'm not 100% sure if those are G.I. Joe trunks. They might be. They came out of a box of G.I. Joe clothing that my brother had. So I just grabbed them. I'd like to have the orange set. And my middle brother that I put this together for originally, that I did not give it to him. Keep that in mind. He's not getting it. He pointed out it was the wrong G.I. Joe fuzzy head, that he had a red-headed fuzzy head. I said, well, you know, I got what I could get when I could get it, because I think I paid $25 for that box of toys just to get him, and he had no clothes on. And but again, I had that Remco wrestling ring that I've got a video about. Some die-cast cars, which some I kept, some I got rid of. I can't remember what else came in. It was just full of good finds. I just noticed on the back of this reproduction of the comic book that there's 2 more adventure sets listed on the back. So I'm sure that they have comic books as well. It says The Fate of the Troubleshooter is 1. I remember that dune buggy. It's got the tracks on it, and I remember them without the tracks. It just had 3 wheels on each side. And then the Sandstorm Survival. My cousin had both of those. Well, I know he had the red dune buggy and the Army Jeep. I can't remember exactly what all he had, but he had tons of that and Evel Knievel. Okay, that's the complete set minus box for the big, I'm sorry, not Big Jim, for the G.I. Joe Adventure Team Seawolf Submarine. I have plans after winter's over. I can't believe I haven't done this yet, but we were talking the other day. I'm going to take this set down to my brother's pool, and we're going to sink it and bring it back up. I didn't think about it until he came up around Christmas time, and we were talking, and he went back in the office to look at it, and he said, bring it down to the house, let's do it. But he's got his pool closed right now. So we're going to try it out. I may videotape it, but you know, if it fails utterly, I won't post it, because I don't want to do it injustice, because you know, it was a great toy at the time. Can't exactly remember the year, but this is awesome. I know I think highly of all the toys from my childhood, and I think it's because I actually enjoyed playing with them. We wore them out. A lot of them didn't make it, because we were constantly playing with them, losing pieces, breaking them, and it was just something that happened with us and our toys. But if you're into G.I. Joe and you don't have this set, I would recommend you get it. This is the only G.I. Joe set I have, because one, it was the coolest one I'd ever played with. I want to thank you for viewing the video. If you have this set, man, post it. Please post it. And if you have, any of y'all have the Action Man version, the gray one, man, post that one too, because that's even harder to find in the United States. I've seen a few, but it's hard to find. And because they're Action Man and hard to find, they got a hard to find price on them as well, the ones I've seen. But again, I've been to G.I. Joe shows where I've seen them, not just a toy show, not just a flea market. But I do keep my eyes out for these items. I actually found a Squid at a flea market, and I got it for $1, and I gave it to a friend who had a lot of G.I. Joe stuff. He didn't have this set, but he had all his G.I. Joe stuff sitting in a room in his garage, and I just gave him the Squid and told him he had to get to work with that. And he didn't even know this sub existed. So, and he has not gotten one to this day, and that was about 2 years ago. Thank you for viewing this. Have a great day.